right here in this notebook is everything that I want to talk about with you guys. Let's go ahead and open it, and I'm going to read to you what I wrote inside. This message is for the youth. Close to about a year ago, I worked for an after-school program at a middle school. At first, I was really nervous because I didn't really know how to manage a class, full of kids. But as the months passed by, I eventually was responsible for leading my own class. I don't know whether to say unfortunately or fortunately. Anyway, throughout my time working at that school, I realized something about you all. Something I noticed in myself at your age. There we were as a class. I was standing in the corner watching the room, and all my 8th graders were having fun talking amongst themselves as they enjoyed playing the board games I had set at each table for them. As the time passed and the parents came to pick up their kids and the buses arrived, 20 or so kids eventually became 10, and 10 kids eventually became 4 to 5. I started cleaning the class since there was not many kids left. I was cleaning when I noticed one of my 8th graders, a quiet young man who really only ever talked to his girlfriend, was staring at the chessboard that was laid on the table. I don't want to say his real name, so let's just call him R Jr. R Jr. was staring at the black and white chessboard that was set up. I asked him, "Have you played before?" And he told me no, that it was too hard to learn and he was too dumb to play. His words, not mine. Now I could tell that our junior meant what he said, and he didn't exactly have a joking tone behind those words of his neither. I couldn't help but to let my big brother side come out, so I told him everything is usually hard to learn at first. It gets easier with practice. God gave us a brain for a reason. Kid, you're not dumb. Now his response to what I said caught me completely off guard, if I'm being honest. You guys have to remember, the tone is somewhat serious, so nobody's joking around. Our junior says to me, "Why can't my dad tell me these things?" He followed up by saying his dad makes him feel too dumb to do anything and that he never talks anything positively about him. This story is just one of many that I've heard during my time working at the middle school. Now, I know this is technically taboo to do in U.S. school education systems, especially nowadays. One day, I told my 8th graders to either hold hands or put their hands on the person's shoulder who was next to them, because we were gonna pray. I was 19 years old, and I had to try really hard to push back the tears. These kids did not yet know that they are loved by someone who paid the ultimate price for them because he loves us so much. So you have these kids who don't feel as though they're really connected to reality, who feel as though they're detached, and they feel as though they're not loved. But I knew in my heart Jesus was happy to see his children praying in this day and age, where there are more pride flags than there are of crosses in U.S. school education systems. Prayer is essential, especially for the kids. Satan will do everything in his power to confuse, manipulate, and control the ones who are most easily persuaded, impressionable, and influenced. That day I realized you are all lonely, and while this might be a no-crap Sherlock Holmes moment, it didn't really resonate with me on a grand scale until that kid put it into perspective for me. I was able to see it from his perspective, rather than my own. The youth is becoming more detached from reality more than ever, and I'm gonna reveal to you, my young audience, as to why.